New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring. And hello again, dear ones. Dr. Robert with you here on a Tuesday afternoon. This is part 3 of our 3-part series, Deep Within, looking at some of the people that are instrumental within the affiliated New Thought ANTN community. And today we have someone I'm going to call a great and growing friend, Reverend Beverly, Tynya Beverly, out of West Sacramento and the Creative Living Center there. I got to see you speak at ANTN last year in the talent show is where it was, right. And a couple other little things. And I was immediately like, wow, who is this woman? Why don't I know her? And what is she, what has she got to say? So, Reverend Tynya, welcome aboard.
Thank you. It's so good to be here with you. And yes, we had a fabulous time last year. So
yes, we did. And we're going to repeat that, but we're going to talk about that later.
Okay.
First things up, folks. We want to know a little bit more about you and your ministry and how you show up in the world and how you found ANTN and those sort of things. So give us a little bit of background to get started.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I am a staff minister at the Center for Spiritual Awareness in West Sacramento, California. And it is there where I lead a ministry rooted in social justice. I am the outreach minister because I believe that the New Thought philosophy is liberating, and I want everyone to know about it. And so outreach is my specialty. I lead from a place of healing-centered outreach. I believe the things that we touch and the people that we touch, there's an opportunity for healing everywhere we go. I proudly serve on our board of trustees as well. And I'm currently in the Doctor of Divinity program at Emerson Institute, and I'm going to be finishing up pretty soon as well. I am a native of South Central Los Angeles, and I have over 30 plus years in state government. I retired 10 years ago as the Chief Learning Officer from a major state department. And my background is in human resources, policy, training, and leadership development. And what's good about it is that those 30 years are fueling my ministry now. With a growing center with over 250 average attendance on a Sunday, we need to build infrastructure, and policy development is very important. And so I'm utilizing all of that experience in my ministry as well, because my sweet spot is cultivating sacred spaces where my spiritual life and the strategy comes together, my business world, if you will. And I'm seeing transformation by doing this. I'm an author. I'm a spoken word artist, and I produce social justice theater here in Sacramento. I'm involved in several theater groups as well. And I serve as a spiritual leader for Black Women's United, which are the organizers of the Black Women's March in Sacramento. And I facilitate what's called the Sacred Rest Healing Retreats for this organization. I am also the project director for the African American Suicide Prevention Project, and I consult on special initiatives around Black wellness. I'm also a sacred space circle keeper for Safe Black Space, teaching and advocating for community healing. And then outside of the pulpit, I am an urban farmer, the Brown and Black Farm Collective in West Sacramento, and I manage a 1/4 acre of land where I champion food justice and ancestral healing through ritual and cultivation. And I know I often remind my community that we are the ones that we've been waiting for, and we are responsible for our own healing. So that's a kind of a snapshot. I'm sort of this Renaissance person here in West Sacramento with my hands in a lot of pots, but it all comes together for the good. it all comes together for that one mind and one love.
Beautiful. Yeah. And I chuckle a little as you went down all these things as I'm thinking, yeah, that sounds like a minister. Way too many projects, and wouldn't want to let go of any one of them because every one of them is making a big difference in the world. And I'm reminded in your sharing that last year it was that we had a presentation at the ANTN retreat on the UN initiatives.
Yes.
On different UN initiatives. And I know that being on the board of ANTN, we have been discussing in that group, how do we approach the membership and where do we look at how can we be involved as an organization in those initiatives. And I know the one that keeps coming to the forefront is food insecurity and food security. So that's what really caught my ear there, right? You've got a quarter acre in your urban farming. Tell me a little bit more about that and how that work is an avenue, I would have to believe, for you to bring forward new thought in a powerful way.
Oh,
in a really
absolutely.
Hands-on kind of thing.
I appreciate the question. I stumbled into farming. Like I said, I'm from South Central Los Angeles, so farming was not a part of my upbringing. I'm an avid gardener. And during the time of COVID, I had a little plot in a community garden in my community. And the farm manager came to me and he really appreciated what I was doing. And he invited me to participate in a farm internship program. And he said the commitment I had to commit for an entire year because they wanted to teach me how to grow in all seasons. And so it was during COVID, things were shut down. It was a perfect opportunity for me to partake in this fabulous activity. And what I found is that I was working at a farm that was really a refugee, part of a refugee resettlement agency called International Rescue Committee. So they're refugees from all over the world. So this is an organic, no-till farm. So all of the farming techniques that we use are all manual. We don't use any machinery or anything like that. So I learned indigenous techniques from people from all over the world. Little women from the Himalayas and people from Bhutan and, parts of Korea. And they brought all of these farming techniques. And so my training was rich for a year. And at the end of that, I was able to get land. And in that, I started growing food for the unhoused in an area called Oak Park in Sacramento, and started taking food and just giving food away, and I got folks that were involved in it as well. And then all of a sudden, we start getting requests for us to grow certain vegetables from restaurants. Okay, we would do that. And then we opened up a farm stand. So now we have a farm stand that's open on Saturday mornings that you can come and get these fresh vegetables. And now we produce enough vegetables that we can support 3 other farmers markets. And so what started out as a heart project really kind of expanded into a business opportunity. And so now I have a group of about 20 farmers that work with me. And here's the best part. Is that the produce that is left over after the farmers markets and everything, and we have sometimes substantial amount. I take all that produce to my center, and we set up a farmers market every single Sunday. I have volunteers that help me, and my folk have access to pesticide-free, organically grown vegetables that were harvested like the day before. And when I brought them in the first time, I said, my community, they won't, it's not a food desert. And what I found out is that you don't know where your food deserts are, and you don't know where your members are coming from, and not to assume. And so now we have this community of folks that they're building their meal plan on these vegetables. So like I said, it is definitely, when I say I'm a social justice farmer, I'm going in where the food is needed and providing the food and anchoring the food. But the biggest part is I'm teaching people how to grow food too. So I think that's the most liberating part. So life has been expanded with me going into the farm business. Fancy that.
Exactly. From 30 years in local politics, I think I heard, to urban farming and ministry. I love the transition. That is
Hey,
fabulous.
they all match. There's an intersection through all of them. So
Well, I think I'm just going to warn you right now. I think I've got a subcommittee I want to sign you up for, but we'll talk about that offline.
okay.
For now, so tell us a little bit. How did you find ANTN, and when did you start getting involved and coming to ANTN
Okay.
events? And give us a little of that background.
Sure. So I was attending Emerson and nearing graduation. I was ordained last year and I received my ministerial credential. And so I was invited to come walk at Unity Village in Missouri for my graduation. And so I was like, yes, I'm going. I had no idea what Anthem was all about. I'm thinking unity, that this was a unity thing, and I wasn't quite clear. And so when I got there, the first thing that I saw was the umbrella sign, is what I call it, where it talked about all of the New Thought organizations. And I'm familiar with all these organizations. So I'm staring at this sign. And I remember Dr. Missy, she came by and like, what are you staring at? Well, I'm staring at all of these folks that are under one umbrella, which was mind blowing. Because I started out at Agape before I moved up to Northern California.
Okay.
And so to see Mile High, and Unity and all, it just made sense. Okay. This is even before I graduated, before I even got to the conference. So I'm brand new. Last year was my first conference, not knowing what I was stepping into, but what unfolded for me was nothing short of transformational. The programming, the music, the workshops, and oh my goodness, the energy blew my mind wide open. I left spiritually ignited and deeply moved. And when I returned home, my community asked me, what happened to you? And all I could say was, Anton happened to me. That's what happened to me. I joined Anton on the spot. Now, I'm very frugal, okay, I must say. And it's hard to separate me from my money, but I paid for this year's conference last year on the spot before I left. And I have been involved with the Anton community ever since. Any opportunity I get, there was a call out for online for Black History Month about sharing information about new thought leaders from the Black community. I was involved in that. When there was a call out for meditations for the season for nonviolence, I involved myself in that and was so grateful to deliver a meditation for that program. And then I joined the retreat committee, not knowing a whole lot of folks, but like I said, I'm in it to win it. And, just being involved with the Anthem, from where I am now, there's so much more, and I'm so excited about what's next.
Yeah. I want to join in you with that. Join that within you in that sentiment. So I didn't quite realize that. Okay, so this is only going to be your second retreat. You're still fairly brand new to the ANTN organization, and yet have taken that deep dive already. And I have, I want to say that you're not the first person I've ever heard tell that similar story. ANTN does have a way of saying, hey, we're the people that say, yes, you have a home here. Yes. And we want to get to know you here, not just know who you are, but really know how you're showing up in the world and how you're taking the New Thought principles and bringing them into action. So,
which is really important, because a lot of folks didn't know, but I was coming in off of, I was 6 months, being 6 months cancer-free. So I had just embarked upon a 2-year journey of cancer treatment and going through all the process. And so, I prayed for an opening, and I remember praying for my tribe, my village, my connection point. And when I arrived at Anthem and the interactions that I just had tears in my eyes, because I said the manifestation of prayer is beautiful. It's beautiful. So I felt like I came home. So
Oh, good, good, good. Well, here's what we're gonna do, folks. I want to, and looks like you got another fan out there too. So Lavish, thanks for joining us. Real quick, I want to show one of the spots that we've created for this coming year's retreat. And then I want to talk a little bit about this coming year's retreat, because you and I have, we're going to get to dance a little in a metaphorical sense together.
yes.
And I want to tell everybody about that. But before we do, let's show you a little something we've created to help promote this year's retreat. We'll be back in 1 minute, folks. Stay with us.
What I can say is, wow, there are so many New Thought celebrities in the room. I am telling you, this is a real family reunion. And if you've never been, believe me when I tell you, you are part of the family. You want to come, you want to learn, you want to be hugged on, you want to be loved on. This is the place to be. So
it's a lot of fun. It's like a family reunion. We get together, we laugh and we cry, and we're together and we deepen, and it's a lot of fun.
When I think about all the retreats I've been to, all of the summers I've spent going to many places to get spiritual food, nothing really quite does it the way ANTN does. There's a family sense here. You come here and you are surrounded by loved ones.
It's very much like to see you at the ANTN Retreat 2025. There are lots of wonderful surprises.
Yes, it's going to be a blast. And so it's not so much a surprise, but what I'm really excited about is last year you obviously wowed us with your talent show, spoken word, and I have that queued up. We can watch that if you want. And you obviously wowed the committee, as it were, because you landed a keynote address.
Yes.
Wednesday night of the conference. Tell me what it was like when you heard that news, when somebody called.
Mind blown. When I looked at who the other keynotes on program are, it blew my mind, because I have a lot of respect for those folks. And I know that the folks that selected me for this keynote did a lot of investigative back work, because I would see people in the communities like, oh yeah, I saw this sermon, I saw that sermon, and so they were researching. So I know I'm not taking this lightly at all, definitely. And the way the talent was last year, I know that a lot of thought and intention goes into that. And so I am just overwhelmingly grateful to be in such good company, and that folks thought that the message that I have to bring was an important one to bring.
Yeah, exactly. And it is a big year, folks. ANTN created the theme, and we're already now in the committee is now in the process of letting the theme for 2026 reveal itself, so we can announce that to you in Unity Village normally we do that on the 9th of the 9th, the Thursday night. We tell you what the next year is going to be, and so that process is already happening. And we knew when last year going into it that the theme was going to be deep within, mining our hidden treasures, and that was going to focus on people that are ANTN members. And we really did bring a focus to ANTN voices for this year. And when we talk about voices of ANTN, it all starts with the dear Reverend Martha Creek. So Tuesday night, here's how it all lays out. Tuesday night, we're having a Raise the Roof open house. If you can be at Unity Village on Tuesday night, October 7th, we invite you to come join us for a free experience. No cost. We do ask you to register on the website so we know how many people are coming, and we can only fit so many in the Goppert Center. But 11-song concert series with Ricky Byers that night, and a keynote address with Martha Creek. It's going to be, Tuesday's just going to be off the hook. And then Wednesday night, it's you and me.
Right on. Yes, it is.
and I love it because I get to warm the crowd up for you.
Oh,
And you're our anchor and our keynote on that Wednesday evening. I'm going to be talking about the title of my talk is Beyond Answering the Call to Greatness. And then tell us a little bit about what you might be talking about on Wednesday night.
oh, yeah. Well, my keynote will draw on the work of Dr. William Bridges and the book called Transitions, Making Sense of Life's Changes. And my talk is personal transition. What's change got to do with it? It has everything to do with it. We will explore the nature of change and its impact on our lives, and how spiritual practices can help us move through transition with grace and resilience. And so together, we will look at how change affects us spiritually and emotionally. We'll look at spiritual principles transforming changes and growth, and practical tools. So you will walk away definitely with tools that you can utilize for navigating life shifts and intentions. Now, the thing that I'll tell you is that when you come to my talk, I guarantee you will find yourself going back, reflecting on how you managed change in the past. The one thing that I know is change is inevitable, but it's also sacred. Whether you're facing a major life transition or simply seeking clarity, this talk will offer insight, guidance, and inspiration. And I consider myself to be a transformative spiritual leader. And in being that, I hope to spark meaningful change, not just in individuals, but across communities and spiritual culture. Because I believe this model that I will introduce you to will liberate your thinking around change, and you will no longer allow change to get you down or beat you up. It will be a different kind of understanding. It will be a different grace with yourself. And that this is our moment with when you look about what's going on in the world, now is the time to refresh our spirits and renew our perspective. We need all of the energy that we have to move forward into the future and stay connected with the possibilities that change brings. And sometimes, folks are, way down about change. But if we begin to look at the possibilities that change brings about and put on our spiritual eyes, we begin to see the lessons that the universe is teaching us. And if we could do that, when we're hit with these valleys, is what I call them, when we're hit with those, we can manage them a little more effectively. And so I know Ernest always tells us, he says, change your thinking and change your life. Well, I say, change your thinking, and I dare you not to change your life. So I look forward to you listening to my presentation on that Wednesday night where Reverend Robert and I will be in partnership. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm even more looking forward to it now. This is, yeah. Folks, you could register right now at ANTN.org and get onto the and register for the retreat. Now, currently, I think all of the housing at Unity Village has been sold. It's a tough get for a room at this retreat. However, we have partnerships with local hotels, and the Holiday Inn, I had to stay there a year or so ago for a different event, and it's only 3-4 minutes down the road. It's a great, nice little clean hotel, and you can get back and forth to the village really, really easily. And ANTN is really good. We will do everything we can to support you getting back and forth. If you have to stay off site, we'll send a car or get you a ride or do what we've got to do to make sure you're here, because there's so much that goes on. I didn't even mention that on Tuesday night, after Ricky and Reverend Martha were hosting a candle-lit labyrinth walk. And if you haven't had a chance to walk the labyrinth at Unity Village, OMG, and at night with a really conscious group of people and candles and music, it is really, really something special. So, and that makes me want to ask for you, Reverend Tynya. Last year was your first year. It was obviously more than enough to come back again immediately. But if you had to, what would you say was like your favorite part of last year's event?
It had, I can't pick one favorite part. I mean, walking on the grounds of Unity Village, going to the archives, to see Ernest Holmes' archives that we had just arrived there, the people, conversations. I know it was just like I was in a village of seekers and teachers and artists and healers. And every conversation I had was an expanded worldview. And so all of these things kept coming together and being able to explore consciousness and being able to share that with other people. And so definitely the connections and your programming. The programming was amazing. And usually at a conference, there's kind of lulls here and there, but every workshop, power talks, you name it. Everything was really good. So if I had to say a favorite, I would have to say the people. The people definitely captured my heart.
We hear that again. I think that is the number one piece on all the feedback forms I have ever seen is people's favorite part of the whole entire experience is the people. And we have a lot of people. We've managed, and when I look at the list of not only keynote presenters, yourself, myself, Reverend Janine Burns, Reverend Martha Creek, Reverend Sonny Cantrell Smith is going to be with us this year. Reverend Michelle Izugwu is with us this year, and those are keynotes. When we start talking about power talks, my dearly beloved Lara's got a power talk. Great friend Reverend Eamon Duffy with New Thought Men's Community, Reverend Paul Hoyt, Reverend Bobby Kaiser, Reverend Bill Marcioni, Reverend Dr. James Mellon, Reverend Cherise Patron, Reverend Elizabeth Rowley Ho, Reverend Dr. PJ Stanley. These are power talks. Those are 15 minutes. And I can't even get into the list of workshop presenters because it just keeps going and going and going. It's an amazing experience. And here's the other thing I want to share is, and I'm up to my eyeballs in it, right, folks? I'm on the board. I do all kinds of things, and buy your raffle tickets from me this year. I'm saying my raffle ticket win, so buy your raffle tickets from me this year. It looks like a lot and it can feel like a lot, but there's also a lot of space in and around the nooks and the crannies of the event that walking. And what I love is we share meals together. So walking back and forth to dinner, meeting for breakfast, spending time over the lunch hour together, just wandering around, as you were saying, Unity Village is absolutely amazing. So if you had someone that was like, I don't know, come on, it's just aren't all these retreats the same? And isn't this just the same old? What would you say to people to really let them know why they want to be with us in October?
I would say in a world that's moving so fast and quick and asks so much of us, that a sacred pause is kind of needed in most of our lives. And this retreat allows you to unplug from your world for a little bit, allows you to be fed, to be filled up, rejuvenated, release, figure it out. Because I know I had a whole different view of my community when I went back. And you ask them now, there's so much that has happened in this last year because I'm still on fire from just the initial experience I had last year. And I will make this a part of my yearly personal development activity for myself, because it's a gift to you. We give so much to our communities that when is it time for you to get filled up? As individuals that are practitioners and ministers and just on this path, the spiritual path. And so allowing you to tap back into creativity. Isn't that what this is all about? Is co-creating the world that we want and spiritual renewal. I can't say that enough. So I'm feeling the blessing, and I hope that, that I shared enough that makes you want to kind of check it out and you're curious about it, because definitely it is life-changing.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've about run out of time, folks. So in the comments of today's program, I've dropped a link to last year's talent show. And if you want to see, I'm going to call it the talk that sparked it all. because obviously that was you didn't know it, but was an audition piece for this year's keynote. And I would highly, because I remember I was sitting there going, "Wow, this I like this." So I'm so grateful we're going to get to share the stage. I'm so grateful that you have found ANTN specifically, and from the sounds of it, we can count on you providing your love, your support, your gifts, your talent, your consciousness to what we're creating here at the affiliated New Thought Network. So Reverend Tynya, thank you so much. This has been a blast.
Thank you. I'm looking forward. We're going to have a blast in Missouri.
Yes, we are. All right, folks, if you haven't caught the previous 2 episodes, they're available over on our YouTube channel, and look up Affiliated New Thought Network and keep an eye out. We're going to have a big panel discussion with more of the people from this year's retreat in September. You can save the date on that Tuesday night, September 16th. We'll be having a large panel discussion here on New Thought Media Network as well. I'm on my way out of here. Thank you again, Reverend Tynya Beverly. Check us out and learn more. Be with us October 6th through the 10th at Unity Village. Until next time, we wish you peace and richest blessings.
Bye-bye.